Hi everyone. Next, I will introduce the influence of cultural difference in negotiations. In the process of negotiation, there will be many problems. Cultural difference is one of them. In the case of Samsung and Apple, both companies accusing the other of copying their designs and technology on smartphones and tablets. However, two companies from different countries have different cultures, and this cultural difference affect all aspects of their negotiations. This cultural difference adds new impetus to the negotiation between Apple and Samsung, which affects the manner, strategy, and outcome of the negotiation.
Now it is my part to introduce the background at the case as well. Let's take a look on the backgrounds of the two companies. Samsung is an electronics company from South Korea, whose products cover a wide range including semiconductors, camera modules, displays, and mobile phones. Apple is a multinational technology company founded in 1976, whose achievement is astonishing by reinventing mobile phones, tablets, computers. Here is a brief introduction of culture. You may take a quick look. Then we will talk about case of two companies. In the case of Samsung, the corporation is used to based on strict hierarchical practice, just like what present in the South Korean society. In recent transformation, the company tries to get rid of this hierarchy by reduce its internal rank for 7 levels to 4 ones. Besides, the leadership of Samsung, realizing that a flat organizational structure can have the company be more adaptive to the changing environment of global business, while the company more market share. Thus, the company requires all employees to call each other's English name to live an effective communication. In Apple's culture, Apple demonstrates a creative and innovative source as the core of company culture. The company drives for perfection and encourages its employees to jump out of their comfort zone. Apple explores the uniqueness of the single product by maximizing its feature and combining it with high technology. Apple chose its way to be the one that differs from the rest of companies who want to change the future of such electronic products. In so many years, when people think of Apple, they always talk about breathtaking iPhone 4S, which prove innovation and pioneering activities can direct to success.
Hi everyone, I'm Fan, and today I'm going to talk about the theory of cultural difference in negotiation. Globalization requires negotiation in a multicultural environment. Therefore, culture is a crucial aspect in negotiation process. Brett's How Culture Affects a Negotiation model points out that cultural factors can affect the decision-making preferences, strategies, and communication methods of both negotiating parties. Brett also believed that the value of culture is reflected in the interests and priority choices of negotiators. Although culture does not directly determine the outcome of negotiations, cultural differences have an impact on the negotiation process. In addition, negotiation styles vary among different cultural backgrounds. Some cultures tend to adopt a collaborative approach in which negotiators tend to work together to find a win-win solution. However, other cultures tend to adopt more competitive negotiation methods, where both parties strive to maximize their own profits. For example, in the case of Apple versus Samsung, both parties tend to adopt competitive negotiation styles in order to maximize their benefits. Negotiators from different cultures also have differences in information exchange. For example, Americans tend to share information directly, choose an open and frank way to exchanging information. They pursue speed, cost, and efficiency in negotiations. To engage in effective cross-cultural negotiation, it is necessary to understand the cultural differences, adjust communication and negotiation styles, and respect their cultures in order to promote the success of the negotiation. Thank you. Let's welcome Yu Chen to do the analysis.
Rice model describes how the cultural background of entities affect the negotiation process as well as outcomes. The model suggests that parties from different cultures have their strategy and preference regarding how they want to negotiate. The model is inclined towards combination and solution based on whether integrated or distributed outcomes. As for the image, here Culture One was Samsung from South Korea and their strategy was to minimize the 1 billion settlement amount for which they filed a counter lawsuit. On the other hand, Apple was Culture Two with a strategy to show copied iOS features such as slide to answer, curved edges, and icons to make their case strong and performance to gain the maximum amount from the settlement. There was no integrative potential as both Apple and Samsung used a distributed negotiation approach for dispute resolution. Moreover, there was low cultural intelligence as both negotiators did not know each other's culture. Moving on to comparing cultural differences between Apple and Samsung, we'll have to understand its impact on their negotiation. Although both companies have a flatter hierarchy, Apple focused on innovation, taking risks to gain the first mover advantage in the market. On the other hand, Samsung is risk-averse with its focus on targeting mass markets and increasing profitability. It is believed that a culture driven by individualism initiates negotiation rather than collectivism. Hence, from an individualistic culture, Apple prepared a strong case by building negotiation information beforehand. Samsung had less time to prepare negotiation information, so they resort to filing a counter lawsuit to obtain some time for preparation. In this way, individualism helps to initiate and lead a negotiation, while the femininity, masculinity aspect of the model. Apple has 75 males in senior management, which made them competitive and possess profound factual knowledge that helped them in their negotiation style. In this way, half this model show how cultural differences affect negotiation style in the case of Apple versus Samsung. One of the major reasons behind the fierce negotiation is a lack of cultural intelligence and differences in cultures. Apple belongs to Western culture and Samsung has its roots in South Korea. There were huge differences in culture that lead to distributed negotiation. Apple's individualistic culture as for the this framework with a score of 91 for the US and only 18 for South Korea, shows polarization of cultural views. Here, South Korea can be inferred as having a collectivist mindset. The US culture scores 46 on uncertainty avoidance affirming that risk-taking attitude whether its products or filing a lawsuit. On the other hand, South Korea with 85 scores very high in uncertainty avoidance due to which they always play catch-up, be it their product design or legal strategies. Despite having its pros and cons of cultural impact, Apple managed to gain 290 million, whereas Samsung also negotiated well to bring down the final settlement amount from 1 billion to 290 million. Hence, both Apple and Samsung negotiated their best in this dispute resolution case.
To sum up, we can find that the lawsuit between Samsung and Apple is not only a legal battle over patents and technological copying, but also a clash of culture between two different companies. Companies and negotiators need to be recognized and appreciate the role of culture in negotiations and strive to develop effective communication and negotiation strategies that take into account the cultural difference between parties involved. Only through these efforts can a successful solution be reached in cross-cultural negotiations, resulting in mutually beneficial outcome for all parties concerned. That's all. Thanks a lot.